Hi, Joe here for GoonerTube, and I am talking today to Tim, who is the spokesperson or the main man, should we call it, in the Canada Arsenal Supporters Club. It's nice to know that GoonerTube are slowly putting their tentacles out far and wide around the globe, and we're really, really pleased to know at GoonerTube that Tim has joined us today. To talk to us really about how he got involved with the Canada Arsenal Supporters Club, what it means to him, his story, on how he became an Arsenal supporter, which I've heard and it is actually quite interesting, and how he feels about the season's going so far, and how the members of the Canada Arsenal Supporters Club feel that the season is going to pan out for them. So, without further ado, hello Tim, how are you?
Good, Joe. Good to be here today.
It's fantastic to
Little
have you. Thank you.
correction. We like to call ourselves Arsenal Canada Supporters Club,
Do you
but
know
that's
what?
fine.
Do you know what? It's been a long, long day. Arsenal Canada Supporters Club, and your day is quite young compared to ours. What's the time there, Tim?
1:30 in the afternoon.
1:30 in the afternoon. Oh, for it to be 1:30 in the afternoon, it's actually. I'm not sure how the sunshine is there, but since our clocks went back here, we lost another hour, and we're getting dark around 4 o'clock here. So all the people that suffer with that seasonal affective disorder, they're all going to start bouncing off the walls within about another week or so. So yeah, it's not
Yeah,
good.
we change ours. We change ours tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay. What, you go back?
Back to.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we go back tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's not good. It's all fun and games, and obviously, we're recording this during what appears to be, for the UK at least, another lockdown or a partial lockdown. This tier 4 that nobody had ever heard about. Our lovely Prime Minister Boris Johnson is now imposing on us, and everybody's getting a bit worried. But I think, as a means to an end, I think they're doing this because they don't want people locked up for Christmas. I can only guess that. What's the situation like in Canada, or does it change from area to area? I mean, you've got a vast land mass there,
Yeah.
haven't you, compared to us?
Yeah, it's changing area to area. The area I'm in, or the province, which I guess would be like a county for you.
Yep.
We're rising right now. I think most places are, and it's typically the infections are the 20 to 40-year-olds. They
Okay.
open some of the bars and stuff like that, and we see a spike. So
Yep.
I think that's one of the main causes.
Well, there was
But right now we can still go to a restaurant, still go to a pub. So
yeah, it seems that way here as well. I'm not sure how that's going to affect things. I know my son was saying to me today, he can still go to his university and he can still do what he needs to do in the groups that he's doing it. So fingers crossed this doesn't last too long, and hopefully we see the world starting to come out the other side. But there you go. That's a conversation for another day. Let's talk Arsenal, because that's what we're here to do. And obviously at GoonerTube, we're a fairly young channel, but we are reaching as far as we can around the globe. And we're so pleased that we managed to get in touch with you, and you agreed to come on and talk to us. Now, I can see from behind you and from what you're wearing that you are an Arsenal supporter. And just tell me a little bit about how it started for you. What was the initial thing for you, that initial sensitizing event that got you to wear red and white?
well, it's a great story actually. My dad's from Manchester. My mom's from East London, but they met
We'll let
over
your
here
dad
in
off.
Canada.
We'll let your dad off that bit.
So they met over here in Canada. So I'm Canadian made from British parts.
Excellent.
But my mom went over for a visit. She came back with 2 shirts, a West Ham and an Arsenal. My brother got the West Ham, I got the Arsenal, and it's been Arsenal ever since.
Okay. So
But
I bet you're really pleased it wasn't the other way around, right?
well, I have 2 brothers that are both West Ham. I got a lot of family that's West Ham, so I'm the
Okay.
only Arsenal in
Wow.
the
So
family.
apart from 1980, which was obviously a bad year for all of us, they've been long suffering West Ham supporters.
Yes,
Yeah. Oh well.
long suffering.
Yeah. I mean, they could be Spurs, so I think they're probably glad they're West Ham in the end, I think.
Well, I have 2 nephews that are Spurs fans. They're misguided as well.
Oh, okay. So it must be. Do you ever get together when you're watching any sport on the TV? Is it ever one of those things where you have like family together and that you're all supporting different, like with your brothers and stuff?
No, we're all spread out. My oldest brother lives in the States, and my brother it's 2 years older than me, he actually lives in Welling in Kent. So
Oh, okay. So he's not too. He's closer to
so
me.
we're all spread out. Yeah,
Absolutely. Has he got a Kent twang now, or does he still speak with a very Canadian accent?
no, he's starting to get the
He's
twang.
starting to get the twang, is he? Oh, okay. Good luck to
Yeah.
him. Good luck to him. It's a lovely part of the country, the Garden of England, as they call it down there.
Yes.
So that's a really, I mean, fascinating story on how you started supporting Arsenal. And everybody's got their story. I mean, obviously mine was my dad started supporting Arsenal after his father died. My grandfather died in the mid-50s, and a friend of the family needed to help. They wanted to help my dad because my dad was getting very angry, and he was only 12 years old. He didn't know what to do with himself. So his friend took him over to a friend of the family took him to the Arsenal to kind of just get rid of, watching something. And of course, my dad fell in love with the ground and the Arsenal and everything about it because he loved football anyway. And that was it from there. And of course, I was his first son, born in 1969. And by the early to mid 70s, he was driving my mum mad enough that, needed to take me to over to the Arsenal. And of course, got his wish in 1975. And that was probably one of the worst seasons ever. The end of Bertie Mee's reign. Yes, I'm that old. And it wasn't the great. I think we finished 16th that year, luckily above Spurs, who nearly went down that season. I think they saved themselves by the skin of their teeth that season. But the first time game I think I went to, we lost at home to Burnley. But there you go. You don't need to hear my sob stories. Let's talk about you. So how did it start? How did the Arsenal Canada Supporters Club start?
I just found them online. It was here I was a fan, a supporter, and I just found them online. They had a website, so I joined. I got to chat with some of the people that we used to have a forum on our old website. And so then we had a changing of the guard, and I was asked to be brought in. They asked me if I wanted to come in to work in the executive group,
Right.
and I was just a member at large at the beginning. Now I'm what they call the branch manager, and I liaison between all the different branches in across the country and all the different cities. Make sure that if they have a meetup, that's getting out there in our social media as well as their social media. If we get stuff from the club or any giveaways, we make sure that gets out to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I mean, I just kind of got involved. My wife got involved. She worked in doing the tickets because we get an allotment of tickets every season. Obviously not this season, so she was our ticket liaison last year. So
Fantastic.
sort of a family thing now.
Mm-hmm. And the tickets, do they come directly from Arsenal, or do you get them through a ballot?
Yeah.
Or how does it work?
They give us a deadline. We put it out on our social media. They'll come back with whoever wants to go, how many people, and then they send in the request to Arsenal. And depending on the match, most matches will get the tickets. I don't think we've had more than 6 or 7 people go to one match. And to get a match ticket, you have to be a member of Arsenal Canada. So if you get a ticket and you're going with your wife or your brother, they have to join the club as well.
Oh, okay. And then it's a case of finding your own flights and sorting everything out.
Oh, yeah.
And do they sit you together?
Yeah, they're usually Upper North Bank seats.
Okay.
Is where we usually get.
Okay, that's great. And I mean, it's obviously a great. From what I've spoken to you from before, you're a seasoned pro when it comes to coming over and watching the Arsenal. But you told me, I think, that you never got. Did you get the chance to go to Highbury? I can't remember now. Was it once, or you never got the chance?
No, never got the chance.
And I suppose that's something that most Arsenal supporters, if you've only had the chance, like living in Canada, it's not exactly around the corner. So getting the chance to come over. So if you've never done it, you wouldn't have missed it. But are you kind of disappointed that you never got that chance to go to Highbury?
Oh, definitely. I mean, when I came over in '79, I went to my first match was Arsenal Brighton in Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
Brighton's first match in the first division. We won 4-0.
Okay.
And it was a real culture shock for me standing in the terraces. all of a sudden 30 rows became 5 rows when the ball went into the corner. No concession stands.
Yes.
So it was different. It was really different. So that was the only opportunity I had. I didn't get a chance on the next weekend because that was the first match of the season. The next weekend they were at Highbury, but we were leaving on the Sunday, so it
Right.
wasn't going to be
Well,
in the cards for me.
no, which is a great shame. You've missed some great times, and obviously that standing era was something else. I mean, I remember we played Liverpool in the FA Cup. I think 5,000 people got locked out, and there was something like 54,000 people in the ground. That was at Highbury too. And when you think that was during the standing times, we were packed in like sardines, and when the ball went anywhere near the goal, you just got picked up and moved. It was like a sea. The amount of times I had to try and get back to my two friends I was there with. So I can understand exactly where you're coming from when it's. But having said that, that's why I think there have been so many supporters campaigning for bringing back terracing, safe terracing. Ever since they took away the terracing, it took the soul out of a lot of the grounds. And split supporters up who'd been standing in the same place for years and years and years. I know I stood in the northeast corner of the North Bank, the original North Bank, with my dad before we moved up to the seats in the West Stand. But I know exactly what you mean. And if I could, I don't want to rub salt into your wounds, but you missed an awful lot with that ground. I'll tell you, if it's a shame you didn't get back more often and go to that ground, but because it's an experience that was to behold. Arsenal, and I can imagine places like the Kop at Liverpool, the Kop at Villa, and a few other grounds were probably you couldn't even imagine the atmosphere as to what it was like. They used to say at Liverpool that the Kop used to be able to suck the ball into the net because of the size of the stand and the amount of supporters that were there. So you can well believe that. So how many people have you got in the Arsenal Canada Supporters Club?
We're This year's a little low because there's no tickets, so a lot of people join so they can go.
Yep.
But I'm gonna say I think right now we're roughly at about 150, and I think last year we were just under 300.
Okay, so it kind of fluctuates depending on the situation,
Yeah.
and obviously with the maybe the lack of games and all the rest of it, that's had a big effect on it. And I would
Yes.
imagine with Canada being such a large landmass there, you're spread across the areas, aren't you? You have a few in one town, a few in another town. Is that how it works?
Yeah. We have lots of people that we have meetups, like Vancouver's pretty good soccer town, football town. So they get a good core group. Toronto gets a good core group. Where I live in Calgary, there's about 10 or 12 core people that usually go to the pub for watching matches.
Yeah.
And then Winnipeg's got a few. The biggest thing I think that's hurt us is the Europa League's hurt us for one, because a lot of Sundays and a lot of kickoffs where they're early in the day. Nobody wants to open their pub at 7 o'clock in the morning for 10 people to watch a match. So
of course,
that's been tough that way.
Yeah. Of course. So generally though, the feeling of the feeling you get from your group is that they're all mad Arsenal supporters, so they're going to be biased anyway. But how do they feel that the season's going so far, and are they pleased, or are they sort of indifferent at the moment because of the results that we've been getting, or is it just a case of we're loyal anyway and we'll stick with Arsenal, and no matter what happens we're there, sort of thing? Is that the feeling you get?
I think the feeling is the same as probably all over. It's like we have this incredible man up front in Aubameyang, and we're just not getting him the service to score his goals to win those matches. The group I sat with on Sunday for the Leicester game, as soon as Louise went off and Mustafi came on, you figured Vardy was drooling to get on there. And as soon as he came on, everybody knew he was going to score.
Yeah,
it was just imagine if we were going to get two, because we knew they were about to get one.
We did talk about this, and it just goes to show you must take your chances against teams like Leicester, who are obviously a very, very good side. There's some great players. How ironic that they've got Saliba's partner, who he was with before, same sort of age, and dominating, our front line. It just seems a bit ironic that with the problems we've been having, and the reason why Saliba hasn't been playing in the side, and yet the guy he was playing alongside seems to be hit the ground running in the Premier League. Again, another woe to add to our woes, but I completely understand where you're coming from with the Aubameyang thing. And we've proved once again that top six sides seem to be a stumbling block for us. And while I'm talking about top six sides, you've got to mention Manchester United, and that's the next game, and away too. And it was one of those games where I think I spoke with a couple of the guys, and we were saying that if we could get a win against Leicester, then the pressure would be slightly off. Needing a win away at Manchester United, we could afford to get ourselves a draw, come away from there happy. But as things stand now, on the way that the teams are playing around us, we're going to go and have to win there, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we are, but I don't think away is as big as it was. I mean, they're with no supporters in the stands, they don't get that uplift from their supporters. I mean, you've seen that with Liverpool at home. They don't have the cop to rise them up when they need a big goal or a big moment in the match. So I don't think that, and I mean, maybe it affected us against Leicester that we didn't have the crowd maybe cheering them on or pushing them on.
Or maybe it's just because Mustafi's rubbish.
Well, we're too pedestrian. We're playing walking football half the time, anyways.
Well, when we were playing Dundalk the other day, sorry to break across you, I would just think while I'm thinking on my feet here, or sat on my backside, we heard Arteta shouting faster, faster, faster the other night. He was really trying to push his players to play the ball faster. I mean, this is, bear in mind, we're playing Dundalk. We're a professional team, but we're playing Dundalk, for goodness sake. I mean, this is where the cores come from. And their biggest star is Steve Staunton, who played, for Liverpool. But this is Dundalk, and we did predict a 3 or 4-0 win. But a team like Dundalk, who put up a lot of resistance, but we should be playing fast football around them and not giving them a chance to think. And it's as if even against Dundalk, he was having to push them to play faster. So if that's the case, I know you're saying about the lack of crowds in Manchester, but this is Manchester United, who've been getting some good results of late. I mean, they went away against PSG. That Marcus Rashford is on fire at the moment. How are we going to handle the likes of Rashford and Martial and the like? How do you think we're going to handle those if we can't score goals at the moment?
I don't know, but I think just tactically, I think we're probably going to go to the back five. He seems to do that against the bigger clubs. That's if we can find an extra volunteer to play center back, depending on Luiz, if he's going to be ready or not.
Yeah.
So I think when we do that, there's a big gap between our midfielders, because we're playing two holding midfielders in front of our center backs and our guys up front. We have a big gap where we're not controlling the ball and we're not able to make the plays. So that's where I think is where we're lacking. And I think that's where, if we don't win the midfield battles, is where they're going to be able to get those balls through and into guys like Rashford and Martial.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, we need Partey to really have a great game, don't we? And I quite like El Neni and the way he's been playing. I much prefer him to Xhaka, who I think is a liability. I agree with Kaya on GoodTube, and that is, I think Xhaka's days are numbered. I honestly believe that that Arteta will be looking to get another midfielder, possibly in the window, if not at the end of the season, because as we know with Klopp, it took him 3 or 4 seasons to really get that side into what he wanted. And I think as long as they give Arteta the time, he will turn that team into a really, really good side. But he's going to need the funds and he's going to need the players. And at the moment, he still hasn't got those players. You can see that, can't you? I mean, he's got some great youngsters coming through, but he hasn't got the right combination of players that he really needs to push on to a top 4 at least.
Yeah, and I think everybody was surprised that El Neni was not sold, that he came back from his loan and was given an opportunity to win a spot on the team, and he did that. He came back and won a place on the team.
Yeah.
So as it says, Xhaka, it means, I think it meant to Arteta that maybe he's got more confidence in El Neni than he does in Xhaka, that for keeping him around.
Yeah,
because there's a similar person in a similar position.
Yeah. I mean, the way, I don't know about you, but the way Xhaka played the other night against Leicester, I left a lot to be desired. I don't know if he's lost his nerve, or And I think it was Kyle that said he must be so impressive in training. That hence why Arteta feels like he needs to play him. Don't know. He can be really, really good, but on other days he can be so poor. And I don't know at that sort of level. And he's one of our most expensive purchases, who gets paid a lot of money. I just don't know if he's good enough for Arsenal, let alone any team in the top half of that division. That's my own personal opinion. But yeah. So how do you see it going? Against Manchester United.
Well, as I said, I think we'll set up with a back, 3 and 2 wing backs, and then our 2 holding midfielders in front of them, and probably Aubameyang, maybe Pepe, and probably Lacazette up front.
Okay.
I'd like to see a 4-4-2 myself.
I mean,
and keep Arteta and not Arteta, Aubameyang and Nketiah up front.
Okay.
Because I don't think we have that guy, the hold up striker that we had with like Giroud, for all his failures or lack of everything. He was amazing. He held up the ball. That's what he did at the.
He was a
did
big
that in
guy.
the World Cup.
He was brilliant with his back to goal too. Like you were saying, good at holding up the ball, good at holding off the players, and just bringing other players into the play. We don't really have that, do we? We don't have that big, strong centre forward. We got very slight centre forwards like Lacazette and Nketiah, who are good goal scorers. Although Lacazette for me has been again really, really poor lately. I don't know. He seems to make some really strange decisions. I don't know if he's just going through that sort of phase at the moment where he just can't do anything right. And Aubameyang still doesn't feel, since he signed, doesn't feel like he's been himself. So we are definitely lacking confidence up front. I think the only one who isn't lacking confidence is Saka, who I would probably put instead of Lacazette on the left side of the three if you were to play Aubameyang in the middle, because I think he's really threatening. And as long as you've got him there with Tierney doing the overlaps, I think we'll penetrate a lot down, especially down that left-hand side, because Pepe, for me, the jury's still out on him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Saka's just, it's like he's not afraid. He just goes. If he makes a mistake, fine. He comes back, he covers.
Yeah.
He just tries stuff. He tries to make moves on guys, tries to go inside, tries to go outside.
Yeah.
Tries to go through and around guys. He's not pedestrian. He's not going to, I can't get through, I'm going to stop past the ball. He looks for a way in.
He does.
Which is incredible, and especially for such a young, talented player.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to see. And I think, Maitland-Niles has that sort of thing to him too, that he likes to, try and find a way in rather than stop and, pass the ball back because there is no way in, or not a high percentage way in. So I agree with you. Saka would be my choice on the left. Pepe on the right. I think the guy needs confidence. He's 72 million. We got to play him and give him some confidence. He comes in with the left foot. He's good. The only problem with Pepe is he's not going to come back and protect. And if it's Bellerin on the right, it might be a little problem because Hector's had some troubles lately. But
so it'll possibly
be
Cedric Suarez, but yeah, it's a tough one to call. I mean, I think if we can go there and get a draw, at least get our confidence back, maybe a 1-1 or a 2-2 or even a 0-0. I don't mind that. I mean, I'd love to see us win there, but the way they're playing, I think we're going to be hard pushed to keep them out. And I can see them scoring, but I think with the size of the pitch and the way Man United are playing very free-flowing football, I think that gives our forwards and our midfielders an opportunity. And I'd love to see Partey have a really, really good game and maybe set up a goal or two. So I'm gonna stick my neck out and say a 1-1. I'm probably going to be way off, but what would you think? What do you think scoreline?
I was thinking probably about a 2-2, maybe
Okay.
a 2-1 for us if we get lucky. I think that because of the fact that, unlike some of the other matches where we're going to have a lot of possession, we're not going to have that 65-70% possession in this match.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we will, if we can hop on the defense real quick with some quick breaks, we
Yep.
might be able to create some chances and create some scoring. And that's for Aubameyang. That's what he loves. He loves that one-on-one. He likes that ball over the top when he's fast. I mean, United have a fairly good defense, but they're pretty slow.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the speed. And I mean, Pepe's got some speed. So maybe if we have Nsaka, maybe with those guys, good counter attack, I see that's where we're going to create a lot of chances and probably 1 or 2 goals.
Well, let's hope those spaces become available for us. Just quickly before we go, those 2 lovely picture frames on the wall behind you. I noticed you've got Tony Adams there and you've got Olivier Giroud, both signed. Just very quickly, how did you acquire those?
The Tony Adams was a Christmas gift for my wife.
Wonderful.
She bought it and got shipped over from England. The Giroud is actually a match-worn jersey that a friend of mine who collects Arsenal match-worn jerseys got for me. So I got that for my wife for Christmas. And then another gentleman I know got me signed. There's a little photograph underneath the jersey, and that's autographed by Giroud. And then we got it all framed up here in Calgary, and it sits on the wall.
Fantastic. So anybody that was doubting that maybe you're only wearing that jersey and putting those things on the back wall there for effect, and you're really actually into hockey or skiing or something, you're really not. You love your Arsenal,
No.
and it shows. It shows. I feel very underdressed now, considering I'm 3 miles from the Emirates. But I've got my little display here behind me, and I've got some more bits and pieces. But I generally put this one up because obviously then there's no doubts who I follow. But listen, it's been absolutely lovely talking to you, and I hope we can catch up very, very soon. Maybe for a review of one of the reviews of the Man United game if we get time. And I know the time difference is always a little bit difficult. And the other thing that we'd love to do at GoonerTube is for you to encourage some of the members of the clubs from wherever they happen to be situated in Canada to join us or to do some reviews, maybe some match previews. We're going to try and hook up with other people from around the world at the same time. I know time difference is always difficult, but if we can achieve it and we can do that, then that'll be absolutely fantastic. So how does that sound to you? I mean, getting the word out to the rest of your club members.
Oh, that's a good thing. You know, it can grow our club, it can grow your channel. So let's get together and see how we can grow together.
Well, let's hope so. If it means it encourages more people to join the Arsenal Canada Supporters Club, which I'm sure it will, and it gets more people to follow us here at GoonerTube, then I'm sure it will. Thanks very much for joining me, Tim. I'm just going to let everybody know out there to make sure you hit that subscribe button, you hit that like button, and also hit the notification bell, because that means you'll never miss another bit of content here at GoonerTube. It's been a real pleasure talking to you, Tim. Thanks so much. And we'll be catching up with you quite a lot over the season, I would imagine. We're going to have our highs and our lows, but let's hope there's more highs than there are lows. But we'll begin with the game against Manchester United, and no doubt we'll probably catch you at some point after it. Thank
you, Joe. Thanks for having me on. And everybody follow GoonerTube. It's a great channel.
Thanks, mate. And everybody who is part of the Arsenal Canada Supporters Club, make sure you go and subscribe to GoonerTube and tell everybody about it. Tell everybody about Arsenal and our channel here at GoonerTube. And we really look forward to giving you some more content as the season grows. We've got some great content already, and we're adding to that on a weekly basis. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you soon. Thanks.
All right.